And the story came out a few days ago that the NBA, according to sources, is looking at starting its next season in December, games starting just before Christmas or, maybe right on Christmas Day. And it'd be a 72-game regular season. And a big part of the reason they play in their normal arenas with no fans, but a big part of the reason they're thinking about doing this is that they want to get back on their regular schedule. Obviously, they played in the bubble at a time where people aren't used to seeing basketball. You competed with football, baseball, and the ratings were way down. There were many reasons,
right.
but
Right.
that probably was one of them, that you had so many other sports options. And then today, Danny Green and Jared Dudley kind of said it as well, but Danny Green went more specific. Said, if you start this soon, don't expect LeBron to play for the first month. And then Jared Dudley said a lot of stars might sit out if that's the case. And Rob, I don't think they should be starting this early. These players, Rob, they spent 3 months in a bubble, 2 months for some of them, 3 months for others in a bubble. And I'm not saying it was the worst thing in the world, but still, I'm sure it was very tough. They were away from their families and all that. And they played, here's the thing too, Rob, they played every other day. Wasn't like you're getting 3 days off here or there. Now, later in the playoffs, they got more breaks. But for the most part, they played every other day. And the off season would essentially be cut in half. I don't think they should do it. I think they should start a little later. I get wanting to get back on the schedule, but I think you can end in early July, and that's not going to be a problem. And then you can get back on the schedule the next year. Your break is a little bit shorter, but nothing like this. I'm not a big fan of this.
I think that they should just, no matter what it is, Chris, to get back on schedule, leave the playoffs where we're used to having the NBA playoffs, backdate it, give them whatever their time is that they normally get, right, from when the season ended. Give them their regular time.
You mean after this upcoming season?
No. What we just had.
Oh, they usually get about 4 months roughly.
Well, whatever.
So they start in February. So let's say that.
Yep, and then you start in February, or I would try to start in January. So I'll make it 3 months off. 3 months, and then play from January to April, and then start the playoffs. And whatever the game total is, that's what it is. If it's 55 games or whatever. That's what it is. Chris, if baseball can cut 102 games out of their schedule, because remember, that's what it was. They cut 102 games out.
Right.
And my point is, you'll never get back on schedule until you keep the playoffs where they're supposed to be. And then you have to make shift. You have to give at some point. I know you don't want to give up the TV money in the games or whatever, but you'll always be off schedule, and you got to get back on schedule, and the only way to do it is you got to bite the bullet one season, and that's next season.
So you are against the December start, though?
Yes, I am.
I think you make sense. Like I said, to me, it doesn't have – usually the finals ends in mid-June, like June 18th, whatever.
I'm just saying that as close as you can keep it.
I think if they go 3 weeks past that, it's fine. But I agree, keep it somewhere in that vicinity – so then you can start the following year basically on time.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm with you there. And here's the thing. Look, I would like to see probably at least 60 games. So say you play 62 games instead of 82. Let's keep it real, Rob. There isn't 62 games is enough to see who are the best 8 teams in each conference. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's heck, like you said, baseball did 60.
Think about
that's not enough in baseball, but they did it and it was successful.
Right. And you know what, Chris? The 2 best teams made it to the World Series.
Yep.
So there's the 2 best teams made it to the World Series.
Yep. So I do think that I agree with you to some degree, because you don't have to play 82, you don't have to play 72. You could play 62. I know they, like you said, the TV money, maybe they do need to play a certain number, 70-ish to get that. So I understand that. But yeah, I just think starting in December is way too early. I wouldn't blame players. And LeBron, we know, got a lot of power. So if he wants to speak up about this, it could change. And it's not written in stone yet anyway.